bit. But I I don't have a degree in education or English or elementary ed. I mean, my training is in music.
Hmm.
And so I look at the world like a music teacher does.
Yeah.
And there's a few interesting things that music teachers never do. The first thing we never do is we never compare children based on age, right? I would
Interesting.
never
Yeah.
say, well, Sally's 8.5 years old and Billy's 8.5 years old, and Sally's in the third piece in book two, but Billy's only in the seventh piece of book one, so Sally's ahead of Billy. I would never ever think that way because there's so many variables. There's
Yeah.
neurology, there's home environment, there's aptitude, there's interest level, there's you know everything's different. So I think one of the biggest traps we have, and I'm not sure how we get out of this, but it began when we started to age segregate children,
Yeah.
compare them based only on age, and then create various grading or standards of
Hmm.
measuring success based on age. And that is always going to fail because you can go into any classroom in any school anywhere in the world, and the kids could be all born on the exact same day, and you would still see two, three, maybe four, quote, grade levels of difference in their reading, in their writing, in their math aptitudes, right? So,
Absolutely.
in an ideal world, we would allow every child to progress at the perfect speed for them and not have to put them up against some kind of artificial
Standard.
age-based
Yeah.
thing. And what's happened, the short history of standards, it's kind of funny, is someone says, oh, we need standards. Okay, we'll have standards. Well, some people are going to fall short of those standards because of just
Yeah.
circumstances, and they're different and brain. So then what happens, you kind of have to lower or make the standards more vague. Well, some people are still going to fail. So you're going to have to make them lower or even more vague. And then some people are still going to fail. And then someone's going to come along and say, well, everyone's doing poorly because these are such low standards. We have to raise the standards. And we've been through 3 or 4 cycles of this
Yeah.
over the past 60, 70 years, and it never works. And, the latest iteration of the Common Core State Standards initiatives, honestly, if you read like the 4th grade English language arts standards, they're so vague, you would have a really hard time saying, is the kid doing that or not?
Yeah.
And that's convenient because then you don't have to worry. But you think back, and Dr. Webster, I learned the writing program from him.
Hmm.
Really interesting guy. His first teaching job, he was 18 years old at the beginning of the school year. It was the end of World War II. They had a shortage of teachers, and they put him in a one-room schoolhouse in rural Saskatchewan with
Wow.
46 children between the ages of 6 and 16 inclusive,
Whoa.
in a place with no electricity or running water.
Oh, wow.
And he said that was the easiest teaching job he ever had because all the kids knew what to do and nobody bothered him. Right?
Yeah.
Everyone was in a different grade and they could help each other. And if a grade 4 kid had a problem, he wouldn't think to ask the teacher. He'd go to a grade 7 or 8 kid. And if the grade 8 kid had a problem, he'd go to the grade 10 kid. And so he would teach all these little subgroups individually. They could all help each other. A lot of kids were working at their own pace through the math book or through the spelling. Then he did that for 2 years. Then they said, well, you're not qualified to be a teacher. You have to go get, a credential.
Hmm.
And then his next job was teaching grade 5 in Vancouver. He said that was the worst teaching job he ever had because if one kid had a problem, they all had a problem and nobody knew how to help each other.
Catch full episodes of the Educators Podcast every Thursday at 4 p.m. Real educators with the real issues in education. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, take care of yourself. Genes passes to anyone who likes, shares, and comments on this video. Have a great week.